Magic. What is it, and does it still exist? The older I get, the more relevant this line of thought becomes.
This is a story. Elizabeth, the wheel's on.
Yes.
Hopefully you didn't let the cloudy and somewhat misty weather stop.
Wouldn't want to be driving through there.
All your Mardi Gras activities.
There's no more hope of an undiscovered island hiding a Lord of the Flies type dinosaur situation. I know that elves and little red hats don't really live in tree stumps and protect the forest.
Forest can look like a mysterious magic place, especially at night, but there aren't any witches and black cats and all those other unbelievable things.
There's no more gold in them there hills, and Comic Sans font isn't allowed anywhere. As a kid, magic, whether good or bad, was everywhere, coming in the form of lies from those I trusted the most. Magic was dished out with a superb side of pageantry and dedication. Not just the basic childhood magic like Santa, but far more complex familial lies. Lies like that of the one Billy Booger. Billy Booger was a tree in my grandparents' front yard that at one time was a child until a monster turned the boy into a tree for picking his nose. I assume this was told to me because I had a friend that sometimes probably had a couple knuckles in a nostril.
Chris, what are you doing?
I was adjusting my glasses. What were you doing?
Where are your glasses?
I was also told that I had the power to change streetlights with my mind, which later turned out to be family members watching the lights of opposing traffic and slyly prompting me to use my powers after the other lane had stopped moving. TV was also a source of magic as a kid. From the fantastic stories of mutated turtles and talking rabbits and mice and nightmare fuel like the Dark Crystal. Sometimes a childhood treat can take you back to that time. Nothing like a good old pudding cup to transport me back to that magical age, watching my childhood friends, the Huxtables, good people, on The Cosby Show. Wait, they did what? He did what? Bill Cosby? Okay, so, alright, magic may be dead. Washington State seems to be a magical place. As the backdrop to the magical Twilight series, even though it was actually filmed in Canada. Western Washington seems ancient or otherworldly. Giant ferns and moss-covered forests, rocky beaches and ever-present clouds and fog, rumors of Bigfoot, and whatever is in the water that has spawned so many great musicians. As the Romans looked back on Egyptian wonders buried in the sand, we too will look back at ancient statues. This troll under a bridge in Seattle, Washington brings a little magic to the neighborhood. Even the Volkswagen Beetle clutched in his hands is reminiscent of the magical Herbie the Love Bug. Upon closer inspection, however, the donation box has been tickled open, and the free campground nearby seems to be covered with wet tents, trash, and human feces. Alright, on to somewhere else in Seattle. The Jimi Hendrix statue. Jimi Hendrix, born in Seattle in 1942, changed the electric guitar forever. Music has long been an art form that seems to contain magic, the it factor, that intangible je ne sais quoi. And while I had hoped the gentleman playing near the statue was going to be a guitar demigod, he was not yet warmed up. Jimi Hendrix, who died at the age of 27, got a start playing for the Isley Brothers and Little Richard. His upside-down Stratocaster aptly turned the music scene on its head. Chris Cornell, also a too-soon-gone Seattle native and one of my personal favorite voices of all time in any genre of music, also had some kind of magic. Deep, depressed, and beautiful, his music reflected the environment of Washington. Now out of the city, after a few quick Uber rides that we didn't get to pick the music in, we take a quick 1-hour ferry across the Puget Sound, grab a couple of overpriced beers, and enjoy what I thought were going to be tater tots to share. Well, we're back in the front seat now. The urban jungle looking for magic was a little bit disappointing.
You think there's magic, but then magic is surrounded by homeless people.
So we're headed to the rainforest. We're headed to Palalock Beach on the Washington shoreline on the Olympic Peninsula and see if we can find any existing magic there. We look to find that of which cannot die, a tree that lives in the sky. Surely that must have some magic that can't be easily explained away. Do what? Oh wait, so it's still connected to the ground with roots? So it's not really flying? Damn. Okay, little false advertising. It's an ancient Sitka spruce that's all windswept and really pretty, and right now has a waterfall running underneath it, which is extra pretty.
Some people call it the tree of life or will to live, and that's because all of the roots are exposed, and it's questionable how this thing has stayed here for so long.
But what is kind of bringing some more magical feeling back into me, which I've been lost lately, and that's what we're trying to find, is that magic that you lose when you're a kid, is that I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, and this tree right here, I know most people in Asheville don't know exists. But somehow every barista and bartender that I've ever been around has had a tattoo of this very tree, yet they've never been here. How is that possible? Magic. That's how it's possible. And on to the next wonder. The unknown sapien that is supposed to roam these Washington wilds. Bigfoot. Goes by many names. Sasquatch, Sam Squanch, Yeti, the Tall One, the Man of the Woods, Karen, Christopher, Number One Grandma. Stories of its presence go all the way back to the local Native American tribes. Irregardless of Bigfoot's existence, something feels like it's always watching you in the Pacific Northwest.
I'm gonna die.
Just as irregardless isn't a word, Bigfoot is also probably not a real creature. So, in our efforts to keep trying to find some magic, we have headed to where there has been some Bigfoot sightings that we have read about on the internet. And this is in the Olympic Peninsula near Mount Eleanor and up above Cushman Lake, which I think there's also been some sightings there. So it's starting to get a little dark, and we had one of our snow chains break, so we're walking now.
It's good exercise.
Yep. Still no Bigfoot and no magic yet. But maybe if we can get a better view. So it's definitely pretty up here. And what we have heard, doing our little bit of research, is that Sam Squanch, Sasquatch, Yeti, Bigfoot, especially in the Pacific Northwest, likes to leave X'd trees and sound on trees, and a lot of times leave some sort of notification that he's in the area, or she.
It.
And what better way to let somebody know that you're in the area than to bend a tree in the shape of a letter?
Are you ready for that?
So that's the letter R. Bigfoot, big letter. Makes sense. Also, a little bit ironic that Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, Sam Squanch, for you Trailer Park Boys fans, none of those words have the letter R in them. Coincidence? that all those don't have the letter R, yet this letter R has been obviously built by the hands of a intelligent sapien. So not only do we believe that he exists in our very little bit of research, but he's got a sense of humor. So if we can't find magic on our own, there's one place you can always turn to. Some safe hands to guide you home. Capitalism and the free market. Here we use money to try to find some magic. We find ourselves in a FYE having a going out of business sale. Formerly the home of angsty teens, rebellious spirits, and anime dorks. As we walk these hallowed grounds, trying to find some sweet bargains, it gets a little bit depressing when you see the empty shelves. Until you find a little hidden treasure, one of your favorite singers, on vinyl, The Hipster's Fantasy. After some success at the closing FYE, we try to let capitalism do a little more work, and we head to Seattle's own Ye Olde Curiosities shop, where I test my machismo, my manhood, and everything that makes me who I am. Magic. Next we have our fortune read. $1, a little patience, and a huge suspension of disbelief. Followed by the printout of a pretty generic and boring card. After one success on the love meter and one failure at the animatronic psychic, we cash out with a small, magical grow-your-own unicorn and head home to watch the magic unfold.
Nope. 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 Stupid. I'm an idiot. You know how much a unicorn weighs? Like 1,000 pounds. To the sea! Well, it said 72 hours on the package, so just have to wait. Elizabeth, our unicorn's done. Come check it out.
What is that?
It's our unicorn.
It has a limp penis horn.
No, it's a unicorn horn and it grew 4 times in size and it's magic. It's magic.
We can't do anything with
But it's so magic.
Why is it